How would you like to make your first million? And today we have Peter joining us from New York. And Peter brings 34 years of podiatry experience and 13 years of healthcare practice coaching to help practitioners create thriving practices that align with their ideal lifestyle. So, Peter, tell us, what are the 5 steps that you recommend to entrepreneurs in order to achieve the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
So to achieve your first million, which is like, I think everybody's goal when they open up a business. It's a great goal. So this is the thing that I did, and I really recommend. The first thing is, well, of course you have an idea, but besides having an idea, you need to put systems in place. So no matter what business you have, if it's working right here in front of a computer like I do now versus when I was a doctor and have patients and clients and staff, everything you could think of at the present moment, write down a system for it. That's huge. And then it's not duplicatable, so you can grow. The next thing is that after a system, you need clients, right? You need clients and patients, whatever you need. So marketing. So put together your marketing system in place. Now, sometimes people get it backwards, Harry. They put the marketing first. Then this is like what I tell people. You're going to throw a great party in your house and you invite everybody. And they say, yes, I'm coming. Almost everybody's coming. But then you don't have the food ready. You don't have the music. The house is not clean. They come and they go, what kind of party is this? It's a terrible party. I'm not coming back to the next party, right? So
And I will tell
systems.
my friends to don't come either to any party that you organize anymore. Right?
Absolutely. So, okay, so you have systems and marketing. Now you need a system for what I call customer service, right? So now we want to have these patients or these clients, customers come in and you want them happy and you want them to refer other customers, clients, and patients. And that's cheaper than any marketing ads, whatever you decide to do externally. So you want to have that ready to go. And then there's two things that are not so, you don't think it's like so important, but it really is. You have to have the mindset of an entrepreneur because guess what? You're going to hit blocks and boulders that are going to be thrown your way, and you need to like actually chisel those boulders away and not let anything stop you, not let what's going on in your bank account stop you, what's going on, get rid of all the negative mindset, all the people around you that are saying, no, you know what? This is not going to happen. Just go get a job. So you have to have the right mindset. And then if you have, I think in any, if it's direct marketing, if it's any business that you have to have a team. Maybe not a big team, but you have somebody that's helping you out because if you do it all yourself, you're not getting to that million. And if you get to that million, you're doing it really, really hard. And if you're doing it really, really hard, you're not going to scale that to the 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, whatever you want to do. So you need to have leadership abilities. You have to be able to lead a team, be able to delegate, be able to like make this team accountable to you and don't micromanage. So those are my 5 things.
Mhm. Peter, as building a physician business, you guys as physicians, as kind of being in the health sector, you guys have to study a lot because you're saving life. And on top of that, you become an entrepreneur where you need to learn and study. And now you need to learn a, a lot about accountants, about teams, about leadership, about expansion. Uh, what did anybody told you that that was that this is a lot to take on to become an entrepreneur in this sector?
Right.
What made you do this transition? There is any entrepreneur in your family, or I get it that somebody has to do it because somebody had to run the centers, but this is
Right.
a lot to take on, right?
Absolutely. You're right at the beginning part of that. It's like we spent 4 years of college and 4 years of medical school, For podiatry, it's 3 years of our residency, and then if you're not a podiatrist, some like a plastic surgeon, you're going 6 years or more, whatever. It's crazy. It's a lot of years. So sometimes you just want to say, you know what, I'm going to go get a job, hopefully make some money there. But then you know what? You don't have the freedom. I mean, you don't own your own business is not totally free. It's your business. And you do whatever you want with it. But no one tells you when to take vacation, how long to take vacation. If you want to end the day at 3 versus 5, you make it your own. So
100%. I'm a big fan of that one myself. I'm a huge fan of that one.
yeah, well, yes, we all are. And then my uncle, my father already passed away. My father was started off in the garment center. He worked in the garment center forever, and from a teenager stapling fabric to pieces of paper in the basement of this company to becoming part owner and vice president of the company years later.
Wow.
He never went to
Wow.
college. He was a
Wow. Very
hard
impressive.
worker. Yeah, it really is. And I think I take a little bit after him, but he passed away before I graduated podiatry school. My uncle said, you know what? Like mo most of us entrepreneurs, go work for someone, get some experience. And before, get apprenticeship, that's what he used, the term apprenticeship, like that. And then learn how to run the business, and then run it yourself. And I bought a practice. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I was losing money, had no clue. But I will
That
tell
is
you,
where you learn.
yeah,
Exactly
that's where
there.
you learn. You learn. That's where you learn when you failure is a learning
Oh, when you
experience,
lose money, you learn a lot. Tell me about it. We can be talking until tomorrow about that one. Yeah. I know a lot because I lost so much money learning the videos.
I think that's part of the game, right?
Yeah.
And the part where it said persist and never give up, right? And have proper mindset. That's really big, Harry. But I hired a coach after 3 months in practice, and I've learned this.
Very
I've
good.
been reading books ever since. Michael Jordan had a mindset guy. Kobe Bryant had a mindset guy. They also trainers, whatever, but they had their own specific mindset guy. Yeah, he's written a book called Relentless, and it's amazing. It's Tim Grover, Simpson Grover is his name.
Peter, but what happened? What happened? Let's go there because
Sure.
you see, we all have as an entrepreneur, we have something, okay, that we're difficult to be employees because we always think that we can do better. So, and every job that I had, I didn't have too many anyway, but last 18 years was my last job. Yeah, and I was doing room service in the Canary Wharf in the Hilton in London. And even in that, I was thinking that I can do it better, regardless that in the Hilton you have procedures for everything. You have a book like this, you want to wash a plate, you will open a book and we tell you which soap you use, which clothes you use, what kind of water you need to use. And I still am thinking that I can wash the plate better than what is written in the book. So, but yet, something, even that we have this within ourselves, there is a moment in your life that you said, you know what, that's it, I'm going for it. So when you decide to buy this practice, what was the last, what actually make you to take that decision? Because you easily can find a job and make a lot of money and not worry about anything and just go just Monday to Friday to work and get a great month of holiday. Yeah, it's only a month. Well, I don't know how much they give you here in US. Um, let's say there's a month, right? So you can go to your month of holiday. That's gonna be amazing, very luxury. Only a month, but it's gonna be amazing, and no worries. Only worries Monday to Friday. So what made you to take this step and which is a huge risk and so anything happen in your life or you just said that you're just gonna give it a go?
That's a great question. So first of all, we're a doctor, so there's no Monday through Friday.
I
And if
understand.
you're
Yeah.
working for
Yes,
someone,
it's
like
true.
you're on call, and so there's no Monday.
Family calling you. So forget about Monday to Friday if you're a doctor.
Exactly.
There is
And we
some
only
a
get you only get
friend.
2 weeks. If you work for a hospital or for another
There you
doctor, they
go.
only give you
Wow.
2 weeks. I remember going for an interview. I did try to work for someone, and he said the two main owners said uh, the senior doctor gets 6 weeks off, and the junior partner gets 4 weeks off, and you get 2 weeks, the maximum 2 weeks off, and then you have to do everything we do. You can't put new procedures in. You can't do whatever. You have to follow our routine. So
I think it was
that's right.
that one that you didn't like.
Well, really what it is, Harry, is that my ex-wife, even though we're divorced, had done a lot for me in my early stages of my career. And she said to me, Peter, you can't work for anyone. She knew me. I mean, because you're right. You said it before. Like, you know what? This could be done a little bit better. And it's one thing, I'm going to switch this around. As a owner and a leader,
Mm-hmm.
right? You want to develop other leaders and you want to hear from your
100%.
you want to hear their ideas because you can't think of everything. But you know what? Most people don't think that way as an owner of a company. So this is how we do it. You have to do it my way. And it's like, there's a better way. Don't you want to hear it? Maybe try it, maybe whatever, give it a go. But no, I can't, being controlled is not in my nature.
Mm, yeah. Well, this is something interesting that happened to me. You see, when I started the business, I was very young, right? And it was a real estate business. And and the business took off very quickly, but I was doing everything. I was doing the sales, the marketing, I was running the property myself. And then I thought that was a big deal. Yeah. And I'm thinking I don't trust anybody. Everybody had to do what I say. I'm the big boss there. But guess what happened when I started to employ people? They were all better than me at everything. To the point one day I arrived to the office and they told me, Harry, go home. We can grow this business without you. I'm like, what? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can grow this business without you. I was so happy that, that that they were in fact all of them better than me at everything. And without knowing, Peter, I embedded in the culture of the company a proactive leadership where I was actually happy that they can provide better solution than my one, and I was actually happy that they can embrace it. But it was a process. It took me 4 years. The first 2 years, I'm this guy that I don't trust anybody. I'm holding into this thing. No way that I'm gonna hire someone to give the keys of this property. What happened if somebody steal a laptop from my clients? What happened if somebody steal a phone number from the landlord? And I'm the big business guy here. I'm the big shot, and everybody had to do what I said. And you go inside this persona, this mindset. But to be honest, Peter, after a while, it's very exhausted. I'm tired. I'm angry. I'm falling asleep with the laptop in my lap. I can actually operate. So out of survivor, I start to hire people just so I can actually operate, and I discovered something amazing, which is the value of having people in your own business, whatever you create, that actually embrace this at their own and do something amazing, right? So
Absolutely.
but it doesn't come easy, Peter. This transition needs to happen within you. So when you bought this first practice, I presume that this little Peter, same like me, same like the little Harry starting the business. I'm the entrepreneur. This is how things need to be done. This is going in this way. And something was there, but eventually, Peter, you managed to surrender that, let's call it ego. We cannot say that
Yes.
entrepreneurs, we don't have ego, because this is not true. We think that we can do better. So we all have
Absolutely.
ego. Yes.
Right.
So, but when was the day or the time, or what happened when this Peter surrendered to, or not surrender, but turn around from business operator to leader meaning exactly what you described. No egocentric leader, but actually developing leaders and make sure that more leaders are creating the organization, so those practices can run and thrive even without you.
Right.
What
Yeah.
happened? How was this transition?
So this transition happened. So I started off with a receptionist, and then my coach said I needed a medical assistant, and I said, why do I need an assistant? I'm seeing 6 or 7 patients a day. I could clean the rooms. I
Mhm,
could do everything that the
mhm.
assistant does, and I have plenty of time during the day. And she said, you won't be able to grow to where you want to be unless you have a team, or at least one person in this case, that's going to help you so you can focus on the real things of growth. And
Wow,
I
great
said,
piece of
okay,
advice.
yeah. But I said, you know what, I'm 29 years old, money's tight. And I said, well, I'll start off with the part-time person. And we do this a lot. We just dip our toe in, we test the waters, right? And in about 3 months, I not only needed that part-time person, I needed 1.5 medical assistants.
Wow,
But
wow.
I had no clue how to lead them,
Because
like
you
you
have
were
more
talking
time
about.
now to find clients, so now you because that job was done, now you're getting more
Because
clients, right?
the universe doesn't universe abhors a hole, okay, an empty space. So if you have an empty space, like your schedule's empty, and you build it, they're going to start coming in because you're going to start filling it. If you don't have the systems and the people in place, it won't be filled. It won't
Mm.
allow for it.
Mhm.
And I'll just diverse for a second. I run everything on metrics and KPIs and graphs. So
Wow.
if your business is going up, like let's say customer volume goes up one week and then it goes down, then it goes up and then it goes down. That's because you don't have the system or team in place to allow for the new growth. So what comes in first? We say, I'll get more money in, then I'll hire someone. It doesn't work that way, right? When I have more money, I'll buy that fancy machine that makes me more money. No, you're losing money while you're doing this. And the reason you don't have money is because people want that piece of machinery that you have that'll help them, help the clientele, and you don't buy it. So you buy it, then the people start coming in if you do your research properly. But the key thing is I couldn't keep an employee to save my life for a couple of years. They would come, they would go. And back in 1990 and 91, we said the same thing we're saying today in 2025.
Wow.
Oh, people don't work as hard as I do. Their ethics are not good. They're lazy. We can't find some good people. We said that back, we probably said that forever, right? And then one day when you realize that no matter who you hire, something goes wrong, it's time to look at yourself in the mirror and say,
Mhm.
maybe the problem is me,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
Michael Jackson said, look at the
100%.
man in the mirror, right? And so then I always say this. I went to the library back then. I don't know about Barnes and Nobles, but I think they were there. But went to the library, took out a whole bunch of books on leadership. And I kept on reading about leadership. John Maxwell was the main guy I read. Um, and you know what? I always said that it's cheaper to read a book than go to therapy. So, therapists are expensive. So, and I just
Yeah.
kept on reading and implementing things and just changing the way I thought because I thought that everybody thinks the same way as I do. Like I'm not smart.
Mm.
And it's because I'm a doctor. All that
Mhm.
meant is that I worked harder. It didn't mean that I'm smarter. So I thought everybody had the same thought patterns as I did. No, we all come
Mhm.
from different backgrounds, different family life, and
Mm.
we need to understand our team. We need to understand the people around us and how they think and why they think that, and and just work with the team we have and develop them and get them. And we have the right people. It works.
I remember at some point in my business, Peter, I remember my general manager, Eva, telling me, Harry, the only problem in this business is you, man. Just travel the world, do something else. Don't come here. You come here to talk to us. You have nothing to do. We are here busy growing this business. Why you stay at home and you let us do it? And in fact, they were like I said, they were better than me and everything. They were better than me looking at houses. They were better than me renting them more expensive. They were better than me of everything. And it was a big breakthrough that I have. And the day that she was telling me this, I'm thinking, did I make myself obsolete in my own company? This is a good thing or a bad thing that so the first day you feel a little bit strange. The second one you feel amazing, but the first day I'm kind of a little bit lost. So what she means that stay at home, and what I realized, Peter, is that without knowing, I developed great leaders into the organization. I give them enough freedom to own the position, and somehow they were embedded in the culture, right? And I remember that the culture in my company, the only thing, my biggest nightmare is that the team goes to out for a drink and they don't invite me because I'm the boss. That was my worst nightmare. So I'm thinking there's no way that they're gonna let me out if they go out. So I had to be one of them. I had to bond with them in a way that they go out, they take me with them. You know what I mean? And was this kind of culture that without knowing I created within the team, to the point that they actually started. I remember that at the beginning, right, when I started to hire them, everybody it started to come and ask me question. Harry, how you do this? How you do this? How you do this? And I remember that I put some sign behind my desk. I said, "Don't come to ask me anything if you don't bring three solutions." Yeah. So I said, "The people are
Exactly. I
gonna
say
kill
the same
me."
thing.
I'm thinking they're
Absolutely.
gonna kill me. There are too many. At some point, Peter, all the time I want to speak with me, and all of them want to speak with me all the time. I'm thinking behind the desk. I said, I won't be able to do anything. There are too many. At some point, was so many clients and the team. So I had to leader by leader uh, start to create these processes. And because I give them that freedom, everything was not flawless. I have issues. I have people that stole money from me. I have people that I don't know, that came to me once to tell me, I don't know, how I should run the whole business, right? That this kind of I don't know, trust that I give in the team, some people took it way too far. But I realized exactly what you said, Peter. The problem was me, right? The I didn't they didn't the people that I brought to the organization, I didn't know that the values were not aligned with the values of the company, and that's why we had this friction. I need to learn that in a hard way, and I think we all have. So, Peter, when do you, when it comes to culture, right? I already interviewed 500 millionaires in this broadcast, and every time that I ask them, if you had to start to do all over again, what you would do or what you would put more attention, and everybody's telling me culture. If I knew that's gonna be 10 times, 100 times harder, and it's gonna be like this, I would focus and pay more attention to culture, because this team that you start with, if you hire them, you bring them in, and you give them enough space for them to grow, and you develop leaders rather than team members in their own space. I could get there way faster. So, on your point, Peter, how do you think that culture and entrepreneurship, how aligned it is? And when you coaching some practice owners, what happened when some of your clients don't have the same culture and the same set of value that you have? Because that could also happen, right?
Absolutely. That's a great question. Culture, values, is everything. You have to get your team. You have to have people have the same ethical values as you do, and they buy into the company's mission and vision. And I think part of that problem is that owners of companies don't voluntarily share their mission and vision, and they do have a mission. They hand it
Mm-hmm.
to the
Mm-hmm.
employee. This is our mission, but they don't explain the mission. So
They are
why is
non-enrolled.
this?
Peter, they are non-enrolled in the mission, right?
That's correct. They're not enrolled in the mission. And it's so important because you're going one direction and they're just doing whatever they need to. They came for a job, not for I would say a career, or better yet, they're not in it. to be part of something bigger than just a 9 to 5 job. And I think that's what people make that mistake. We hire people that want to come in at 9, leave at 5, and get a paycheck. But I really do think, especially today's generation, they want to be part of a purpose. They want to be part of a company that stands for something, and they're
Mm-hmm.
willing to do whatever it takes for that. If they see there are ways to grow within the company itself. If it's stagnant, and it's not growing, they don't really want to be part of that. And then when you talk about my clients or whatever, I sort of really get that feeling on what I call the discovery call when I speak to them and see if we are a good fit to work with one another. It's not just about the price. People say, oh, people don't want to get involved in your company because your price is too high. They are, it's so funny, Harry. The thing that I find the biggest objection is not the objection of the typical fear that it won't work or the cost of the money. It's the fear that they won't be able to, they don't believe in themselves. They don't have the work value, the ethics to put in the work that's going to take them. How they know their problem. This is what's going on. This is why I have this financial issue. I have a staff issue. These are the issues. I don't know necessarily how to get out of it, and I need your help to do so. But it sounds like a lot of work to fix the problem. And it's a lot easier to fix the problem than keep on staying in the same situation because that's the definition of insanity. They want the easy pill. We want the pill that makes us, or the injection that makes us lose weight, right? Now we have that. I haven't found the pill that takes your company from working the same number of hours or um, the same systems, everything you're doing the same, and all of a sudden you take this little magic pill and now you have $1 million in your bank account.
Mm-hmm. And operating
Uh,
the business, Peter, could be a little bit the dynamic is different, right? Because probably when you are start to operate that business, probably the first 2 years you have to work really, really hard because you need to wear out the hats. Cash is tight, exactly as you described, and then you start the first person as part time, and then 1.5. But then is when it's actually work, it's amazing because the whole thing can operate even without you, and now you're going to at work just because you want to, not because you have to.
right.
And the dynamic change completely, but it's not something stable, it's not something steady. My question is with your fellow practitioners that they get very good money as employees, and when you work for a large institution that they pay you a lot of money, right? It's very easy to say, well, this is not my job, right? Because it's a large institution, so everybody have very clear job description what to do, and then now they go to operate a small business, and now you realize that everything is your job, and also the team that you're gonna have. You cannot come with this mentality of a large organization. Okay, you're gonna be the receptionist. This is your job description, and whatever goes out there, this is not your job, because being in a small practice is where with few employees, you have to be proactive. You have to be multitask, and the people that they are joining in, exactly like you said, they're more than running that mission to create something together, to maybe they like the value, maybe they like, no, they align with the values, probably that the practice have, and that's why they want to work there. But there's a huge difference working in corporate, working in large institutions, and then building your own practice. So I do you think that sometimes uh, there are people that some physicians, they say, well, you know what, it's time for me to have my own business, and let me buy a practice and let me start to run the things. But then when they actually land it, they it's not for them because they're used to to exactly what we describe, to have a job description, to don't multitask, to don't take so much, to don't need to learn more skills outside of what you need to learn. Because when you're an entrepreneur, guess what, right? Let's say you're a physician, yeah, and you love to study about the human body and so on because you're passionate about it, yeah. But the problem is when you're an entrepreneur, you need to know about accounts, even if you like it or not. You need to know about marketing, even if you like it or not. You need to know about hiring the
Right.
team, even if you like it or not. So a lot of things you need to learn, uh, that either you like it or not. You need to know to have a basic knowledge, and can be confronting, Peter. So when you started to run your own practice, how you face the challenges that now, my God, now I had to learn about accounts a little bit so I can explain the accountant a few things I want to do, or what this marketing guy want to do with this. I don't understand why so much money. And so how you overcome the challenge of learning and study what you didn't like?
Oh, so the funny thing is, I became as passionate about running the business as I did taking care of the patients.
Oh,
And
wow.
to me, that's the key. The beginning is like I was
Yeah,
just
but
losing
still, Peter,
money.
you need to do something that you didn't like. So,
Oh,
which are
sure.
your less favorite things?
What we don't like is as doctors charting, writing all these notes in the chart. And then so it got worse over the years running a practice because as a doctor, we have all these regulations and Medicare regulations.
Of course you do.
People don't really understand that if, let's say, I treated you for something and then my notes are pretty good, but if I said that I gave you an injection, but wrote down in my notes, I gave Harry an injection.
Hmm.
Well, and then the insurance company wants to see my notes before they pay me to make sure I gave you the injection.
Hmm.
I'll look at it, it says I gave you the injection, but they want to know what kind of injection, where's the injection, and what was in the
Oh
injection.
my God, so much
And
detail.
that should be there anyway because it's good for me to know. Okay. But if you, okay, here's what happens. What happens is that you send that claim out, you get paid up to 7 years from now. The insurance company says, let me see your notes from
Oh
20.
my God, what a
They
headache.
look at it, now they're asking for money back. And they look at it, well,
Wow.
we looked at your chart and it wasn't exactly where it's supposed to be there. I wasn't down
Oh
here
my
first.
God, Peter.
Now we're
That's a
going to audit
huge,
you in your own
huge
charts.
risk.
So the doctors are staying really late to finish the charts, which doesn't have to be that case anymore with AI, virtual assistants, and using, again,
Hmm. Hmm.
you had a picture back there of you and Tony Robbins. I learned this from Tony Robbins. When you have a problem, okay, ask yourself a better question. And the question is, who can get this done faster than I can do it, and not cost me a lot of money? It'll be less, not be less
Cost
expensive,
effective.
right? So who can get that done? And and so if you ask yourself a better question, it's like I hate this part of my business. Then ask your subconscious mind a better question. You'll get a better answer. And for a lot of times, it's like, oh, now I have to verify a patient's benefits before they come in because if I say to you, I want to do this treatment, but your insurance doesn't cover it, well, you, the patient, doesn't really know everything about your insurance company.
Hmm.
And if I start doing it and then it's not covered, send you a bill, guess what, Harry? You're going to be upset. I didn't know it was going to cost me $500.
Hmm.
But if I
Hmm.
knew, then I would have the option of saying yes or no. And I get that. It makes sense because everywhere in the world, you go and you look at the menu, you see the price of the food in the restaurant. You say, well, you know what? I'm not going to have the 32-ounce steak. I'm going to have the 8-ounce sirloin. I'll still have steak. It probably save me some calories. At the same time, save me a lot of money, right? So you have options. But in the past, you didn't have those options. So now I have to hire someone to verify benefits. So what I did is hire, I was right around the corner from a high school and a college and a university. And I hired college students and high school students that came in after school who just sat there on the phone calling all the insurances and verify benefits. They're working part-time. They got experience because they probably want to go
Hmm.
into the medical
Hmm.
field. At the same time, we didn't have to pay them as much as someone that is going to sit there all day and is like 32 years old and I have to pay him the same amount of money. And now today, we just use virtual assistants from other countries, from Colombia, from the Philippines, from India, and all they have to do is call, and they're happy. They're getting paid, and we don't have to pay as much. We get the information. So again, ask yourself a better question to get that information. A lot of my colleagues, to go back to the original question, Harry, don't like running the business. They thought it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm hiring this amazing office manager that has 30 years of experience from another doctor. I can just put her into the office and she
And
can
that's
run the
it.
show. Right. And it never works out because she's going to make up the rules of your practice. And it's like, well, I don't like it that way. Well, you can't get mad because you never told her how you like it. You never worked out with the system to begin with, right? Um, and so it's really important to you know, if you're gonna do something, my father said do it right, be passionate about it, or if you really don't like doing it, that's okay. You can be the CEO of your company, have that practice administrator, but you need to actually direct originally the practice
Mm-hmm.
administrator. What
Mm-hmm.
is your vision? What's the culture? What's the mission
Mm-hmm.
here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then set time aside to have meetings with your team and with your administrator and say, and keep them accountable
To
to
make
you.
sure everybody's aligned.
Right. And make them
Otherwise, they don't
accountable. This
deviate the
is right.
purpose. Yeah.
Right. I want to see the numbers. I want to see how each part of each department is working. I want to see numbers in each department. I want to get to hang around with my team, just walk around the office. How can I help you? Help you with your job? What do you need from me as the leader? Don't just see patients and go home. That's called a job. But that's not taking ownership of your business. I'm a people person. I love people. I love being in my office. I miss that part, I would say, as being retired now. I miss telling the dad jokes my fiance said to me. She said the only reason my staff laughs at my jokes is because I pay them. I miss that, right? So, but but if you're just going to just be a doc and go home, you might as well just work for someone else, because you don't have the passion and your business will fail. You have to love the bad times and the great times equally.
So coaching and mentorship, Peter, you were humble enough to share with or to arrive in your own career that at some point when you bought this practice and things was not working well, you did hire a coach and everything started to get better. So my question to you is, what message do you have for our listeners that are entrepreneurs, people that want to be entrepreneurs, or people that already are in business?
Mhm.
Because the situation that we see at the space right now is that entrepreneurs that go, they want to have a coach, they want to have a mentor, they want to have a coach, and the first thing they do, they go to internet, they find this mentor, this coach with a Ferrari, and they say, okay, this is going to be my coach. They pay them a lot of money, they get very little value, and now coaching and mentoring doesn't work.
Right.
uh, uh, and then on the other hand, we know for a fact that the most successful at the entrepreneurs is exactly like this: when you really surrender yourself and start to understand that you need help, and you're gonna be listening to this help, and it's gonna get you faster there. Especially Peter, like for example, you coach other practitioners to run their own practice, but you're a physician yourself, so nobody will understand them better than you. So why so but the question would be, what tips do you have for our audience how to hire uh, the right mentor, the right coach that will help you to go there? Because I presume, Peter, when you were running a small business, if you bring a coach and a mentor that specialize how to bring a practice from 5 million to 100 million, this coach won't be able to help you that much because it was a small practice. So what tips
Right.
do you have for the entrepreneurs in every stage of the business to look into a right mentor, into a right coach, especially physicians?
Right, yes. One is that the coach actually um, did the work before, that has some accolades, actually took a business and grew the business, not just went to some coaching program and helping you, but because they don't really understand the
So reading a
the
book is not gonna
values.
make it. Reading a book about coaching practice is not gonna
No,
make it, right, Peter?
because I tell every of my clients, whatever, to be open with me, whatever problem you have, I had it in the past. Okay, and probably
There's no
some
way that
right, and
that
how I
cannot happen to
overcame
you.
it. Right. So that's what you want. And then you want to hire someone like you just said, if you want to be a better tennis player, you have to hire someone that plays tennis better than you. Right. So you just said when you reach a certain, because I've hired mentors and coaches for my present coaching business. And when you reach a certain level, you can't get to the next level without coach because that coach never got to that other level either.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Right. So you want to hire someone then to the next level. And
mm-hmm.
then next thing you know is you're sitting in Tony Robbins, in a circle. You pay, I don't know how much you pay for that, but just a lot of money because
The lot.
you're at that level. You're at that level, right? And so that's important. So they've done it before, and they've reached what you want. They reached that expertise that you're looking for, right? The internet in some place is you have to be careful. You're talking about the coach with the Ferrari. That remind me of when I was on dating sites before I met my fiance, and you have the guy that's standing right next to the Ferrari, but it's not his Ferrari necessarily. He just took a picture of him in a Ferrari, right?
He's just
So,
very good at marketing, yeah.
yes. And so you need so you get you speak to people who've coached, get some testimonials, and not just we all have testimonials that we make it look nice on video and run through that whole landing page of testimonial after testimonial. But can I speak to someone, kind of thing? I always offer my clients, a bunch of people's names they could speak to, ask questions, right? That I got permission from them. And then before you get on the call, you really need to know what you're looking for, right? People say I don't have time to do the things the coach wants me to do, but you don't have, but that's the problem. I will tell everybody, here's another thing you need to do when you own a business. You have to have what's called a rainmaker day. Okay. And that is a day like you're seeing your customers, clients, patients, but the day that you're working on the business, not in the business. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't be
100%.
the restaurant owner, the chef, and the bottle washer all at once. You need the time to work on the business. And that's the time where you get the things done that's going to make the business grow. You don't have to work till midnight every night. And like you said, the first 2 years of practice, I basically did work till midnight. But it didn't seem like work. I was 29 years old. Had a lot of energy and I was passionate. If you asked me to do that now, I wouldn't
Yeah.
be able. So almost
When
65
you're
years old. I
passionate about,
can't.
you don't feel like you're working. You
Yes.
are so immersed. You are so
Yes.
immersed that you don't even
Exactly.
realize the time and the places. I remember in the
Right.
first 2 years running my business, and one day I went to Piccadilly Circus, and I'm thinking, wow, I haven't been in the last 2 years in Piccadilly Circus, and it just few stop away from where I was living. So that's how immersed I was in the first 2 years trying to figure out everything on the business, but also Peter, the values, right? If you are a business owner, right, and try to find a coach and a mentor that align with your values, because at the end of the day, this coach and this mentor is not there to tell you what to do, but somehow will be part of the organization, and definitely in this space, Peter, ethics is very important, and you see if somehow values don't align for any reason, make sure that you find a coach that actually aligns with the values that you have. So like
Absolutely.
this partnership can go way far. The same thing that we're talking, Peter, is about culture and how to bring to your organization. Even the coach has to be somehow uh, part of the or believe in the culture that these
Yes,
small enterprises have, so that like that will be able truly to help them out, right?
that's correct.
So Peter, si someone is in love with our conversation, I think you're amazing, yeah, and
Thank you. Thank
you're a
you. So
great entrepreneur in a space that uh, is is a little bit is challenging, big time, right?
yes,
A lot of things can go wrong. You see lawsuits, you name it. Is a space that
yes,
that is not easy to operate. Yeah, someone might say that very lucrative. Well, it comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of risk. And having an expert on your side will pay off big time. So Peter, if somebody's in love with our conversation, want to know more about you, how people can find you, how this process works. Can you share a little bit of resources with us?
sure. You go to several ways. In my Instagram, you go to coach underscore Peter Wishnie, or my email is dr.drwishney at gmail.com.
Last message that you have for practitioners that want to be entrepreneurs and they are listening this broadcast and say, well, wow, I wish that I have this courage that Peter, leave this job and start my own business. Even though it's small, I can operate it and I can build it in a way that I can actually exit, or I can actually, that business can be operated with or without me, so I can spend more time with my family, with people that I love. This is true story, Peter. One time my mom got sick and I had to spend a year without working, traveling the world to. I had to deal with this problem, and if uh, if I was not an entrepreneur, I she would literally would be dead because there's no way my brother couldn't take over because the solution of the problem it didn't get solved in 2 weeks. It need time and resources, and it took a year of me actually that. Thanks God I have my general manager there that they could run, operate, and grow that business without me actually with very little input, so I could take of that issue, right? So what message do you have for those for your fellow practitioners that they're listening this broadcast and they say, "Wow, I wish that I had this courage to start my own business," but they don't have this. They're trapped in this golden cage, and sometimes they're trapped in this golden cage forever, and sometimes this dream that they have, I don't know, about traveling the world, about writing this book, about I don't know, spend more time with the grandchildren, never happens because just because of fear. So any message?
Sure. Let's talk about fear. So know your why, and we know Simon Sinek talks about that. So know your why. So when you say, I want to write the book, I want to do this, I want to do that, why? And ask yourself 7 times why you really want this. When you have your why, there's going to be times, like I said, you're going to be in a valley, not on an uphill swing. You're going to be in a valley, and reviewing your why will keep you persistent and consistent. So if you keep those 2 words, being persistent, no matter what happens, you will get through it, and know that you've been through things in your life that you got through it. So it's the same thing here. And then being consistent, doing something every single day, that one thing that's going to move the needle the most, even if it's not, spend hours doing it, over time, those little things you did every single day multiply. Okay, has a big effect, and it will just grow. And all of a sudden, one day, your bank account went from, it's like losing weight. You like at the beginning of the scale goes down a little bit, but you stay persistent and consistent. What will happen? All of a sudden, boom, in a month, you lost 10 pounds. How did that happen? I mean, it's like I was like, after 2 weeks, I only lost like 2 or 3 pounds, and boom, 10 pounds. Same thing with your business. It's not going to grow like out of nowhere, like really fast so quickly. But all of a sudden, one day you wake up and you're like, look at your bank account. It's amazing, but it just didn't happen overnight.
Thank you so much, Peter. And for all of you listening this broadcast, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable, how brave entrepreneur like Peter break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Thank you, everybody.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.